glad to be here. Thank you, Ms. Barbara, for inviting me. And actually, I accidentally invited Ms. Barbara over here that encouraged me today. Because I normally memorize from the top of my head, but I'll be able to do this piece from paper. But I'm also like to thank the brother that gave me a comment in the back about Tiger Woods. I don't know what he had. But Tiger Woods included in this piece too. It's called I Love My Black Man, regardless of the things we do. And I think that they need to be honored. But I think that we also need to learn how to stick together and be unified in our household. And this is a very important piece to me. And it's called I Love My Black Man. I love my black man. I said I love my black man. A young male held in his very reverent speech. You are a feminist, as he smiled at me, while his lips particles produced the truth. You hate men. In my heart I was mad, for brother did not understand that I died for my black man. I speak as an equal antidote. Let sister hit you with this love note. As I fly like an eastern tiger, swat-tail butterfly, I will open your mind with this lady soul of mine while I swim through a field of oak trees. My thoughts will change your geometric perception of me to a yellow aura of my majesty. See, I love my black man. I love you, yes I do. Black man, I love to read to you right knowledge, right wisdom, right understanding, equaling sound, right reasoning, to inform you of Nwako's love potion for self and kind, from the books of who to Hootie. From the books of who to Hootie. See, I love my black man. Black man, I love you. I do love you, and you should know that I have something to share from my soul. Black man, I want to assist you with the development of your master plan. Now, God, take your stand as the universal and mortal man. I want to assist you and stand by your side to fight Star Wars, to keep our children in existence, infinite, eternal, in the present bliss of the Most High. So I want you to breathe to this, and I want you to feel this. I love my black man. Said I love you. Oh, yes, I do. As the creative force of will say, the great architect of risks and Mars and Earth pyramids, I will give birth to our copper skin tone babies. You are the father of time. Have you forgot? Or do you not remember that you created papyrus, computers, heart surgery, global dimensional world maps, and the head chief counselor of star travelers? I ask you, do you remember? I ask you, Zakar, Adam, do you remember? I ask you, do you remember? Marcus Garvey, do you remember? I ask you, do you remember? Peter Tosh, do you remember? I ask you, do you remember? Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I ask you, do you remember? Bob Marley. I ask you, do you remember? Tupac Shakur. I ask you, do you remember? Elijah Muhammad. And I ask you, do you remember the teaching of Eliud, which you call the Most High? So I ask you, do you remember? See, I love my black man. So I began to think about my brothers that was in the ancient times, that was in the slave ships back to the 50s, all the way to the 60s as I traveled in my genetic memory. All of this came up through me, and I feel it was a responsibility from me to you to dedicate this song to you. You are so powerful, intelligent, and they fear you. So I ask you, do you remember? I ask you one more time, do you remember your ancient ancestral greatness? Do you remember? See, Tata, unique mama, I love my black man.